How's everybody doing? Fantastic. It is so wonderful to be here. I am just like overjoyed. I feel it spilling out of my heart. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, all the volunteers. Thank you, everyone, for building what is going to be an incredible movement. We're all at the beginning of something extraordinarily special. You can feel it in the air, and you can feel it all around us, and you can feel it vibrating off each and every one of us. We're all here to learn and understand something that's really hard to talk about. We can only kind of go inside and sort of feel, and we have the sense when we talk to somebody else about it who also gets it, that we kind of know what's happening. And we're trying to kind of quantify it, and we're trying to kind of make physical things that can help people understand it further, and we're trying to bring it to a mass market and let mainstream know what we're doing. And we're kind of succeeding. So it's amazing to be here at the beginning. It's amazing to also be able to share the journey that we've gone on, creating one of the first transformational technologies that actually has hit the mainstream. I mean, there's lots that have come before, but you'll see sort of what I'm referring to. My slides are a little slow, but when they're ready, we can get started. So my own background comes from equal parts art and science. And as a child, I always wondered how it was that the world worked, how it is that a table is hard or something is red. And then I wondered how it was that we could perceive it as hard or understand it as red. And then I wondered how it was that this organ that is doing the perceiving, the brain, is something that we could then know, that we could perceive the perceiver. This was a completely perplexing problem to me, so I went on to study neuroscience. I worked in research labs from neurogenesis through to Parkinson's disease. I also created art to try to see the world from the other side, experience the emotional understanding that happens when you see the world and feel the world in this way. And I became very fascinated with brainwaves. Brainwaves to me were something that had real scientific, neuroscientific information in them. It's a technical phenomenon that comes from your head, you can measure it. And it also seemed to have this emotional or noumenal sense. So we don't need technology. The computer crashed, it really doesn't matter. They seem to have this sort of emotional sense. So I started to work in the research lab of Dr. Steve Mann. Steve Mann is the inventor of the wearable computer. He's the guy who created Google Glass before Google ever did. And he'd created this amazing brain-computer interface system at MIT in the 90s that me and my colleagues at the time started to work with. Back in the early 2000s, we created concerts where 48 people at a time could make music with their brain. They would have a single EEG lead on the back of their head, and by modulating very simple parameters like alpha wave activity, they were able to synchronize their activity in small groups, which would then affect parameters of the music, the volume, the LFO, the envelope, in order to create music in a regenerative cycle. So your brain would affect the music, you'd hear that music, it would affect the brain. We said, wow, this is completely and totally amazing. We're controlling the world with our mind, and the world needs to know about this. So I got together with my two co-founders, Chris and Trevor, in a basement like every great startup that ever was. And we said, okay, what is the way that we can actually demonstrate the power of the mind? So we created what was called the Levitating Chair. We wanted to show you that you could actually move a physical object with your brain. So in the Levitating Chair, you would sit down, and as you would relax, it would detect an increase in your alpha brainwave activity, and the chair would rise to the ceiling. We said, this is amazing. So what's the biggest way we can show people the power of their own mind, the power of the brain to actually reach out and affect objects? Well, it so happened the Olympics was coming to Canada the next year. This was now 2009. And we created an installation at the Vancouver 2010 Winter Olympics where people in Vancouver could control the lights on the CN Tower, the Canadian Parliament buildings, and Niagara Falls with their brain from across the country. Over the 17 days of the Olympics, 7,000 people got to control these massive icons in real time, 2,000 miles away. So you have to wonder, what does it mean when we can now begin to extend ourselves? We can literally take your mind and touch an object 1,800 feet up in the sky, 2,000 miles away, and let everybody in the entire vicinity who can see this know what is on your mind and know what you are thinking. I'm going to do a slide check. Nope. They're really cute videos. You'd enjoy them. You can see them some other time. So from there, we said, this is absolutely amazing. We can extend and touch our physical selves. We can move objects with our mind. This is not just telekinesis. This is real. So we went on to make thought-controlled everything you can think of. We make thought-controlled slot car machines and thought-controlled toasters and a thought-controlled beer tap, which is also a really cute video you can see sometime. And then we realized we were really in the wrong direction. This was not about man's relationship to physical object and how we can have dominion over our physical space, but, with the power of our mind. It was really not the right direction for humanity, our ability to actually improve, understand, inspire ourselves. Fun, but not engaging, not deeply, meaningfully engaging. So we started to explore the power of the mind to understand itself. Power of the mind to actually look inside, to open the door that's on your forehead and be able to actually peer inside your own brain and see what was happening. So we started to create applications, tools like meditation tools, things that actually let you see inside. And we created what now is our little product, Muse, the brain sensing headband. You can go and see it in the other room. It's a slim little device that tracks your brain activity in real time. There are 4 sensors, 2 on the forehead and 2 behind the ears, and it sends your data wirelessly to your smartphone or tablet. From there, you can begin to play with your own mind, see it from a different direction, run micro experiments and see what happens with your brain when you think this way or eat that thing. We realized the best way that we could take this to the world was with a meditation tool. Meditation was on the upswing. When we started, we'd say, yeah, this is a cognitive training device. It's going to help your brain health. It's going to improve your mental capacities. And then we said, fuck it, it's a meditation tool. The thing helps you meditate. The market is sufficiently mature. 52% of Americans now apparently want to meditate. Many of them have already tried. Some of them are thankfully succeeding. And so we have this device that actually lets you hear your mind while you meditate. Now, most people, when they try to start a meditation practice, sit there very quietly and they hope their mind goes blank, and it never does, and then they get frustrated and walk out and they say, this meditation thing, I'm sure it's great, but it really stinks for me. We really wanted to change that. We really wanted to demonstrate to people that you can meditate. Starting to meditate is not hard. 50,000 hours and all the practice and all the things you can learn down the way, that's going to take some time, but starting to meditate is not hard. So Muse actually lets you hear the sound of your own mind while you meditate. And the metaphor we use is your mind is like the wind. When you're thinking, distracted, ruminating, you hear it as windy. And as you come to a state of clear, focused attention, you quiet the winds. So the entire time you're receiving real-time feedback on your brain activity. And then when you're done, you're actually able to see what your brain was doing over the course of the meditation. And then you're able to take this language and dialogue with other people about it. It becomes an entry point to then discover all of the practices that are available in 2,000 years of tradition and history. So Muse has really been accepted by the mainstream, and we're now helping literally tens of thousands of people meditate. We have over 108 research institutions that use it. People use it for anxiety, stress, depression, helping them sleep, helping them look inside themselves, be more connected, be less frustrated when they're sitting and trying to listen to a lecture and no longer remember what's going on. More importantly than that, Muse is a tool that's actually open for anybody to build anything they want to. We have an open SDK and a developer kit. There are lots of people here who have made fun stuff around it. And it's been totally amazing for me to walk into the room over there and see 4 or 5 different installations with it. So Neuramore has a 4-player game that you can play. There's a lighting installation where you can stand on 3 sides of the illuminated art and see somebody else's state reflected back at you. Mike made an installation called Change Your Mind. Jellyfish.org have big jellyfish that move in music that changes with brain state. There's an entire world of possibility that's out there, and we will never discover it. And I certainly hope that people continue to play with our tools and with everybody else's tools to create these opportunities and experiences. I noticed that there are slides that are flickering past. But why don't we just ignore the slides and keep going? So when I think about building transformational technologies, there are some things that are fundamentally important. One is that you're doing it because you want to help and change the world. I always say if what we're doing is not helping people and is not changing the world, please just throw it in the garbage. We should stop right now. If every fiber of your being is not put into this desire and this act to help and elevate the world and the people around you, then it feels like every sense of my being is being wasted. I feel like we have an amazing opportunity to say yes to our own ideas and yes to the opportunities that we want to create in the world. And it just so happens that we are all creating tools that help you then get to higher levels. Meditation has been an extraordinary tool for me and also for my team to teach us to change the stories that we have internally. As a psychotherapist, I would always teach people about the inner critic. The inner critic is that awful little voice inside of your head that says, oh, I'm not really doing it right. Oh, they're not going to like me. I don't really know if I can succeed. This is a big idea, but people are going to think I'm totally fucking nuts. That inner critic is the voice that you have the opportunity to challenge. And there are tools that are being built by people all around you that help you challenge that inner critic, that help you quiet that voice, that help you reduce your own perceived imperfections and help you understand that you are a perfect, an amazing being, and you can achieve anything that you want to. I'm very excited by the opportunity for technology to be a mirror into ourselves, for technology to reflect parts of ourselves back out, and for us to be able to ask those questions. Is my perception of myself real? Is this just a story? I'm also very scared at the idea that people think that technology is the endpoint. The technology is the thing that we're creating that's going to somehow save us. The end point of this journey is us. The goal of this, the focus of this, is the self, is the beautiful beings who can expand in our love and capabilities and potential. Technology is just a tool, a really fun, engaging, intellectually challenging tool, but only a tool. We are, however, here to make amazing tools. So I can't wait to see what all of you are going to create and how we are all going to evolve, are all going to change, are all going to find new boundaries and extensions with the tools that we'll all make. Thank you.